is called co-creators. And when you look at the painting, you see one main figure, the main white figure, the woman. And you think, why does he call it creators? Because I see one person. But when you look more closely, you will see that the face of the main figure, there is a parallel face which is black. So you have a white face and a black face together, which makes the whole painting, because you cannot make the white face stand out without the dark. So, but the dark is not dead, it is alive too. So that is where dark and light need each other to be dark and to be light. Other than that, it was my neighbor who lived at the other side of our apartment with her husband. And I asked her to come and sit every Saturday. So that was our ritual. We went through that, and the movements actually they developed in over some time. Which became this for me unique painting. I like it very much because it connects not only dark and light, but connects the human and the spiritual being also to the universe, which is symbolized by the spiral in the background. And this connects to a general theme in my work. And you can see it in all these other works too, that I like to connect the human to the universe, to a suggestion of dimensions, suggestions of infinity, potential, because I do believe that is needed in our culture, that we have to stop seeing ourselves as just only bodies, because it's killing us. We have to move into other dimensions, which is not too difficult. It is just realizing that we are not only bodies, we are more than just bodies. We go beyond the earth, we go beyond the landscape. That's why I paint these people above the landscape, behind the earth. For instance, she is in the landscape, in the waterfall. It is her, it is the spirit of the water. But we can only do that as humans when we stop identifying ourselves as just only being a body. Because if you are just a body, you're going to be swept away by the water. But when you are a spiritual being, you can be one with the whole landscape, including the water. The whole environment is you, right? So that is what that painting is showing, that dimension of it. Another part of it is that our life is not isolated as humans. We have, while, for instance, she is pregnant, you would say, okay, this is the physical phenomena, yes, but it is much more than just a physical phenomena. She has her own reality, is all around her, her own universe is all around her, and in that whole universe, she meets another universe which comes to her as the yellow profile, as the spirit of the being that is going to get a body with her. So she's already communicating with the world outside her. That's why I call the painting Pregnant Together. She is pregnant, but her world interacting with her is also pregnant. And even the baby that is going to be born with her is already present there, is already communicating with her. That is the whole yellow profile. That's another aspect of that. The same theme goes with the woman in thoughts. She sits there, as it were, in her own circle, her physicality shows an oval in which she is like an egg, sitting in an egg, but she is not isolated from the world around her. That's all these lines go through her and behind her. That's the whole world in which she is connected. Yeah. Okay. Here you see the woman. She stands in a landscape. She's connected to the landscape, but it goes beyond the landscape also, meaning she goes into her more spiritual dimension, and there she meets the girl, her daughter, her future daughter, that's going to be born with her. They are already communicating with each other. That's why the painting is also called Pregnant Together. And I meet this theme all the time, and I think that is one of the basic problems we have in our society at the moment, connecting to each other. We are not isolated beings. We are not isolated individuals. We are connected all the time, even further than just the physical dimensions. In all dimensions, we are connected all the time, and we have to realize that. Otherwise, we go along killing each other. Well, here, and to do that, you could say, how do you arrive there? By going back to our creativity. We are creators. We are not only connected to more worlds than only the physical, we are also creators. Everything we touch becomes something else. She plays with blowing bubbles. It creates a whole universe with that. We have to go back there. And of course, before you do that, you have to think about it. So then you get a woman in thoughts. Somebody who was meditating about, what do I do? The world is there behind her, and she has to find her relationship with it. Her physicality is obviously on the foreground, so that is what is bothering her. Or maybe bothering is not a good word, but it has her attention. That she is a feminine body, is beautiful, but at the same time, what do I do with it in this world that I'm connected to? You see, in this painting here, down here, that woman is also naked. She also stands in the world, but obviously she's more connected to the spirit dimension that she belongs to, and she feels she is more at ease with herself than in that painting, right? She's a step further. Okay, so here I started, as it were, with the background. It was a violet color all over, and I didn't know what the painting would become. I started with the colors and see what happens after that. And then a kind of a landscape came in that was more the background color. But the background, the environment actually was not enough. And then I got the idea that, in the landscape I can put a person, a figure. And I chose her to put in the landscape. But of course, when I put her in, now you can see it in the painting that some parts are just parts of the background. So you could say, what is this doing here? This is just a part of the background that I just kept it there, right? And try to adjust the portrait to the background. But this was a whole process of looking for a balance, and the balance shifted from the background to the portrait. And some colors of the background I kept them there. I brought some new ones in. This for instance, is new. this warm colors here, this I knew. And that was also the surprising part of it. Yeah, well, yeah. So it is starting with going into the nothingness of not knowing where to go, and then slowly moving from the background into the figure, into the figure is so dominant that it takes over the whole thing. That's what I like about this one. Here is a different process. I knew in advance that I would paint her. I had photos taken from her, so I knew who I would paint. So I started with that, and you can see in the process that I moved from the background colors were more the cold colors, cold blue, bluish, green. On that, the portrait, I started painting that, and that became much more expressionistic as I was going, like until the expressionistic, let's say, the quiet part is just one part of the face, and the rest goes into movement, from more subtle to more, how do you call it, exuberant, or what is the good word for it, movement. And the colors also, playing with the colors. First the direction of it, the subtlety, the interplay of cold and warm. I find it a very interesting portrait. It is the most recent one. Yeah. Yeah. So this painting is interesting in the sense that why did I chose her to paint her? This girl, this was just a memory. She reminded me of a young girl that I knew when I was a young teacher, working at a Catholic school, the boys' school, and there was a girls' school also, and she was one of the students from the pupils from the girls' school, Valentine, in Holland. And I just liked the little girl. I just liked her. And now, so many years later, I thought, okay, I have to paint her. I have to paint her. So this is my fantasy about how she is now or how she would be as a young woman, a bit older than just when I knew her. So yes, so the choice is kind of a memory I wanted to honor. That I chose. The subject was wanting to have this somebody with eyes closed, wanting to be a black person, eyes closed. That was the motive for that. And yeah, that one was more a story. This one was more of a story that Anastasia, that inspired me to have a woman who knows her own talents and potential so good that she's connected to the universe and she's connected to the driving force of life, and that's what she is. And I was very inspired by that, because as I said, I think that's where we have to go. Yeah. This was playing with colors. That is another theme of how I chose. Where I start playing with colors, blues, greens, and at some point I thought, okay, so I have the colors now. What do I want to see? Which is how the process also goes. What do I want to see? Oh, I want to see a woman. So where is she? Oh, there she is. So then I start bringing her out more. Right? So the interest here was the process. How to go from nothing to something and just following the process. Following itself. That's what I like about this one, imagination. And let me say something else. This is also, it shows the infinity of possibilities once you connect to the field of possibilities. Everything is possible. Even in this stage, if I would look again, I could ask, what do I want to see? And if I was squeeze my eyes, I could see a figure here. And if I wanted to, I could bring that figure out, and then you would have a different painting, right? Or if I would be interested, in a face, painting another face, I would ask the question, where is the face? Where do I see it? They said, oh, he could be a face, eyes, mouth. I could bring her out. I have a choice now to leave it there or to bring it out. So that's how I go about choosing subjects and themes.
But it was at that time, it was a theme about, it was something, it was an East Coast theme, and it was, and every different artist had, of course, their own perspective, and it was all done in the fiber stuff. And then the latter stuff, we come to that, and they have a thing at the end of June, and it's 25th of June. We had it in the basement. So, yeah, that's where our studio is, isn't it? Yeah. But it was really amazing. And she paid, and she brought everything, and we could bring anything from home. It was a big night.
And people getting anxiety ridden about.
I really like to try to print some. Okay.